Hello, welcome once again. We are learning chapter 37 in Tanya for Wednesday, the 29th of Adar. And happy Rosh Chodesh to everyone. In today's lesson, in situations when Torah study and action mitzvahs, meaning a mitzvah that has to do with action, are mutually exclusive. And you're learning Torah and suddenly you have a mitzvah to do. The latter, the mitzvah, take precedence, for this is the ultimate purpose of existence, to do mitzvahs. Why is doing mitzvahs the ultimate purpose? Because you're drawing the godly light into the lowest realm. Drawing godly light into the lowest realm is the ultimate purpose of existence. In other situations, the former, meaning the Torah study, surpasses due to its superior level qualitatively. In the Hebrew, in the Chayenu, in page 93, V'af al pichein, Amru Rabbeinu Zal, La'amid ha'shikar la'maiseh. Rabbis of blessed memory said, notwithstanding the superior level of unity with godliness attained only by Torah, our sages have said, this is in Tractate Mishnah Ovis, chapter 1, Mishnah 17, he said, the essential thing is not study, but deed, action. V'ayom la'asoisum kesiv. Ayom would mean today you need to do it. And we are nullifying learning of Torah to do the mitzvahs when it cannot be done by other people. Because this, for the active performance of mitzvahs, is man's entire purpose. The purpose for which he was created and for which his soul descended to this world. To create a dwelling place for God by doing the mitzvah and drawing this godly light every time you do a mitzvah, and transforming transforming darkness into light, bringing godliness into the world. Transforming darkness into light. And the glory of God fill specifically the entire physical world. And all flesh will behold godliness together as discussed above. On the other hand, when other people can do the mitzvah, for example, they need a minyan, and you're sitting and learning Torah, you're already daven, you can help them with the minyan. There's no one else to help in the minyan, then you need to help them. But if there are other people, then other people should come and help them, and you continue learning your Torah. When the mitzvah can be done by other people, you're not allowed to stop your learning. Even though the whole Torah is interpretation of the mitzvahs, the mitzvahs of action. The whole Torah is the mitzvahs of action. But nevertheless, you don't stop learning. Why? Well, the mitzvah can be done by others. Mishum shi b'chinas chokhmah bina dash and so bochu, because the chokhmah is the intellectual faculties of God, God's wisdom, God's understanding, God's knowledge. And when you're learning Torah, you're drawing down Mamshicholov, and so Baruch Hu says you're tapping into the infinite light of God, which means with tremendous fervor, tremendous amount is being pulled down, is being drawn down. This is because the Torah is the level of Chokhmah Bina Das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge of the blessed. And so, and hence, when one is engaged in studying Torah, he draws upon himself an infinitely greater illumination of the blessed Ein Sof. Greater both in its illuminative power, meaning tremendous light, and in its higher quality than the illumination and influence that one draws upon his soul through mitzvahs, which are merely organs of the king. What emerges from this discussion is that the effect of mitzvahs consists primarily of the elevation of one's body and the physical world in general. The effect of Torah study, on the other hand, is to unite the soul with God. Accordingly, the Alter Rebbe explained the following Talmudic statements. So one is elevation of the body and the world. Torah is the elevation of the neshama. Torah is the bonding of the neshama with God, uniting your neshama with God. V'zo shomar Rav Sheshes. That's what Rav Sheshes said, or meant by saying, Chadoi nafshoi loch kroi loch tanoi. This is a statement, the Gemara in Psachim, 68b. The Gemara over there said that before Rav Sheshes would learn Torah, he would say, rejoice, my soul, because we just learned that when you're learning Torah, your soul unite with God. Doing mitzvahs, your body is elevated, you're elevating the world. When you're learning Torah, your soul unites with God. So Rav Sheshes used to say before he learned Torah, rejoice, my soul, for you do I study scripture, for you do I study Mishnah. You are the reason why I'm studying Torah, why I'm studying Mishnah, why I'm studying Gemara, and so on. For the soul, the unity with God attained through Torah, Scripture and Mishnah, is greater than that attained through mitzvahs. There's much greater unity of the soul with God when we are learning Torah than when we're doing mitzvahs. He therefore addressed these words to it, for your sake I learn. Rav Sheshes used to say, for your sake, for the sake of my neshama, I'm learning. As explained elsewhere at length. So until here, the Alter Rebbe has discussed the superiority of Torah study over other mitzvahs in terms of its greater influence on the soul. He now begins to describe a far greater quality found in Torah study. The final verdict of today, the takeaway from today's essay, the final verdict of priority between studying Torah and performing a commandment is if one will perform that commandment. If no one will do it, then you must stop. Stop your Torah learning and do it. And if there's other people, then you should continue learning. The purpose of creation is in the physical commandments, and therefore you should stop your learning and go do the mitzvah. Other people, then fine. But in general, mitzvah will be the first priority that we need to do. So thank you again. Happy Rosh Chodesh, and we'll continue with another video. So stick with us. We'll continue with another video with Daily Parsha Insight and the In Yaakov. Bruchim to you. Welcome, Mr. Gallman again. Thank you. Good to hear from you.